Hello, Magical Beans, Soul Tribe. I hope you're all doing well. Let me know in the comments how you're doing. Jumping on today and really been feeling into this new moon energy, new moon in Leo, tomorrow I believe. Don't really get into lunar rituals. However, the portals of energy available at the different transits at the moment are really powerful. And this new moon speaks to new beginnings. It speaks to the clarification and the mental clarity to focus on what it is that we truly desire. There's a lot that's very alive around the feminine energy at the moment. What do we need to do as women to really transcend the past versions of self, our circumstances? There's something coming through around being able to, we must be able to hold firm in who we truly are, what we truly want in our desires, and the future focus in that way. Although future is not it's now, but it's like holding firm to truth, whatever that is, however that looks, with full permission to be autonomous, to come from the space of what's truly right for us with no other considerations. There's something really deep around that for the feminine right now. Regardless of our circumstances. 144. I feel called today, clear, to lean into, open to some guidance from the Divine Mother, from the Great Mother. The collective of the Great Mother includes all manifestations of the Divine Feminine, all archetypes, goddesses, and energies that represent and actualize, if you like, the qualities of the Divine Feminine, all strands. And I'm going to pull for us, I'm going to do a collective reading. And just to say as well, if when I do these type of readings, or any message really, it is a collective reading. So take the pieces that resonate and leave the bits that don't. You're not under any obligation to make it fit for you. If there's any pieces that don't, then that's fine. Just leave them where they are. Not everything has to resonate. It's up to your own discernment to really feel what does resonate for you and what's alive. But if you've been guided here, then trust that there's a reason for that. The readings are timeless, the messages are timeless, as we are multi-dimensional beings. So just trust that the now moment is always perfect for you. And if you are returning, then welcome. If you are new to this channel, then welcome. My name is Sarah, and or Rose, Rose Oracle. So I'm really in a bit of a personal experiment to just open my channel, see what wants to come through in multi-dimensionality to support the expansion of consciousness. And I'm really a weapon for mass awakening. And I'm also a slayer of demons. Slay the doubt. Let's slay the fear. Let's slay anything that has a strong hold in the mind that prevents us from seeing ourselves as we truly are and moving forward in the energy, the version of ourselves that represents our highest expression and our full truth. Okay. Beautiful. I'm going to pull from my Isis Oracle. And within the really potent energy of the goddess Isis, the Lady Isis, our Great Mother, we have a really deep representation that encompasses a lot of other feminine expressions. Isis is really the mother of, or just another manifestation, right? of a lot of the energies within us that make up the whole, if you like, make up the feminine, which is a very broad spectrum. It's the light and the dark. It's the spaces in between. And often it's a paradox, right? Often life feels like a paradox. We've got the Flower of Life, and I just want to feel into the card with you before I read the guidebook. And I'm really just doing a one card pull today and expanding into that support, into that frequency that wishes to step forward for all of us, because these cards are very deep. They're not a quick message, and the guidebook is, it's a good deep exploration. Okay. So we've got Flower of Life, divine creativity and manifestation. And this is so beautiful right now. It really speaks to that essence of the moment and the true purpose of the feminine energy. We are the creatrix. We have the innate ability to manifest through our magnetism, and this is really the what we're mastering right now, is what we are magnetizing and how. And I think many of us overcomplicate this process, in the sense that we're not realizing that we are manifesting all the time anyway. So it's not something that we're learning to do. It's more like something that we're becoming conscious of how it actually works, because we've had a lot of distortions, errors in thought around how things function, how we function, combined with the desecration of trust in self and connection to source and instinct, which has put us off our game, right? We're not fully on it. We've forgotten a lot of what is necessary through the trauma and the conditioning. So divine creativity and manifestation really speaks to the fertility of the innate feminine to magnetize when she's in that pure flow state and receptivity, the intentional manifestation. And this is really ripe for this new moon energy. It's like, what are we intending? What seeds are we planting in the dark through our desire, our will, our intention? You are entering a fertile period of your life. Focus on your innate creativity and how potent this is becoming, and watch it rapidly grow. You are guided to think of yourself as a creative being and to surrender your control over how things will manifest. Instead, allow them to do so. Do not resist change. Instead, flow and let it happen. Now is the time for your blossoming. So for me, this is speaking into the desire and the longing, and it's interesting because it's picking up on a thread that was present yesterday and earlier on, where I was really feeling the experience of longing in my body, the yearning, right, and feeling at how that can catch us sometimes. When we first start this journey, or I speak for myself in the past, sometimes the feeling of longing and yearning was almost painful. It came off the back of it. It was like a sadness, because it was a longing for something that isn't here yet, right? It's a longing for something that feels missing. So there's the longing and the yearning, and then there's the sadness that it isn't present yet, okay? But this feeling comes from a loss, a feeling of loss that's still in the body, a trauma. When we can realize ourselves as the and take responsibility in that way for the fact that we are the divine creatrix and we have actually created everything that's in our life that's mirrored to us at this point, and get to the place of acceptance with that, we can really own our desires, because we understand that through that process we can really refine the participation of actually experiencing what we desire, right? So then the longing and the yearning, now it's like an acknowledgement. It's like if we really desire deep commitment or union or love and we don't have that type of relationship, it can become a yearning in a sad, sorrowful way from the loss perspective, or it can become a longing that fuels, that is a fuel, because it's fully owned, like, yeah, this is what I really want, and turning that into the will to create that desire, to focus, to work with the energetics of it, so that it has to then be delivered to you in the physicality, because that's the law. So there's something here around fully owning your own flower of creativity, the fertile space where you essentially create what it is that you truly desire. But we have to own what we hunger for. Your soul is hungering for creativity and manifestation of the beauty in your inner world, to witness it, live it in your physical world too. Yes, we so need this now, right? Much of your spiritual energy is directed into creative process, and creative powers are growing fast. So there's more potency coming in the creative flow, and it's important that we use this growing ability wisely. The advice is to become aware of how easy and quick your thoughts and feelings are manifesting into conversations, situations, and responses from the universe. Notice how quickly your prayers are confirmed through signs and dreams, intuitions, and opportunities opening up for you. You are becoming more and more swiftly that which you choose to think, feel, speak, and believe. I mean, is anyone, please share if it resonates. You've had an experience recently. Is anyone noticing how things are manifesting much, much faster? The things that we have no resistance to. So if we speak about something, I mean, this was happening all the time in Glastonbury. It's literally like a timeless portal there as well. Time doesn't exist. It's like on any Stargate where time space is like not really present in the same way. This was happening at an extraordinary rate, like it was so magical. And everybody there experiences the same thing and talks about it as well. It's like, oh my God, like we literally just spoke about that. And then that person or the opportunity or the opening, somebody who had information about it or something would appear within hours, sometimes minutes. So it was really, really magical. And at the moment, this accelerated opportunity for all the synchronicities, messages, signs, symbols. So really leaning into that, leaning into the magic of it, acknowledging it, being grateful for it, and following up, if and where necessary, the opportunities, the conversation, whatever it is that shows itself. This oracle suggests that the time is ripe for you to choose to align yourself with love each morning, so that your thoughts will serve you well and the manifestations you set in motion will be the ones that enhance your life experience rather than more of what you do not want to experience. And I spoke about this quite a lot in my Mind Medicine container at the beginning of the year, where it's a really good practice to really notice where our thoughts are at in the morning. So where do our thoughts go by default when we come straight out of the dream space? So we come out of the astral, for that moment, we're in that in-between world. And then as soon as reality or the our consciousness in this physical world comes sort of crashing in through a thought. How often do we reach for something from yesterday? How often is it a continuation of a conversation, a concern, a worry, a situation that just automatically comes flying in from yesterday? I'm really being mindful that in that moment we have a window where we have a real opportunity to actually align our thoughts with the energy of gratitude, the energy of what we wish to see more of and what we are intentionally creating. There is a reminder here of the time, habit and consistency required to change patterns. Okay, thoughts, patterns and behaviours take time to change. They've been very ingrained. We can't just, I think it's Abraham Hicks who talks about slowing the momentum. If we've been running one behaviour or system or pattern through for a very long time, it's very ingrained and it will have a lot of momentum. So we can't just slam the brakes on a train that's going at 140 miles an hour. We have to slow it down, come to a stop, and then it will go in the other direction and then pick up speed. So we're looking to create a new momentum. Rather than to expect things to just be done, we need to apply consistency and repetition to any newness that we're running through our system, okay? This is why the work around self-concepting is so important, because we are then putting a consistent intention and energy and focus into that new creation, and it helps to counteract these old habits of the mind. You are guided now, beloveds. Allow yourself absolute and complete permission. Radical. I love this word right now. It's my favorite word, and it's in all of my intentions for my life. All of my intentions for my life now are radical intentions. They're radical, and I'm owning that. And that power behind that is firing up my will to match the level of intensity that's needed to alchemize the fire to move in a different direction. Give yourself radical permission to detach from past thoughts and behaviors, to bear the challenge of not knowing who you are or how you'll be on the other side of the transformation in order to let it happen. This is so true right now, and I am also challenged by this. I have radically transformed my life. I'm radically different to what I was in so many ways. I'm radically owning my desires. And it can be very strange you feel like you're in the middle or you're in a space in your own life where you just have no control over. You've surrendered to the divine will, and it's like being in between worlds. We're not who we were, but we're not fully, completely who we're becoming. So it can be quite challenging to just surrender to not knowing. And we don't know who we're going to be either in the completely embodied version. Like, there can be fears around things that we may need to let go, things that are clearing out of our life, whether relationships and places and spaces will still be the same, but we have to cultivate a trust, a deep trust within that if something is leaving, it will be replaced by something better. The flower of life, and this is interesting because when I got to the orchard, wherever I go, I anchor a Christ grid. And when I got to the orchard, I anchored a Christ grid and it showed immediately as a flower of life. That's how it appeared to me. So there's something very relevant around this kind of symbolic representation of the core principles of life and the forces of nature. The flower of life holds the secrets to allowing creative change and transformation of circumstances, manifestation and healing in the easiest and most enjoyable ways possible. And this is what's coming through now. It just goes on to say the flower of life contains repetitive patterns, right? Each interlacing and interrelated to the other, like the holograph that contains the whole within each part. Something around patterns. It's all patterning. and the sacred geometry that we are. It's all a pattern. And we have to find a way to perceive greater than the patterns that exist, to be able to open to the medicine in the organic patterning, the true patterning. The Gaia codes is the original patterning for life, this flower of life, for the organic template of how life can be when expressed through these qualities, okay, through these organic patterns, because we've had so much overlays of conditioning. So something around patterning, numbers, geometry. In this way, all that is required is to tap into one part, one element, one thought or one behavior that relates to your desired creative outcome and integrate it into all of your life. Yes, self-concepting, moving the focus from the past to the future, if we're going to think in linear time, or using these words that we have available to us. We can focus a lot on the healing, on what's leaving. It's not necessary anymore. It really isn't. It can become a loop. That's not to bypass anything. It's a very deep honouring acknowledgement and working with that without focusing on it, on the stories, the meaning, and instead shifting, refocusing the attention, the valuable currency of our attention on what we wish to see more of, who we truly know ourselves to be, on the small little kernels of truth and desire that are wishing to ignite the next level of our expression and our being. All the rest will follow through natural connection. Let's just take a breath with that. All the rest will follow through natural connection. If you allow that to drop into the body, what does that bring up? What does natural connection mean? Does it still infer or feel, or is the impulse for something outside of you? Because the natural connection, the way in is in, down, deep, drop, through, in the body. Through our body, through the body of the earth. The internal gaze. That is what is necessary to really recognize these patterns. We have to see the pattern to work with it. We have to observe it. So it's inward, taking everything in. What is the pattern that is potentially blocking you from allowing yourself absolute and radical permission in all areas of your life? You can choose to work with certain symbols. Shamanic work uses symbols a lot, and symbols train us to open ourselves to our own intuition, how spirit speaks uniquely through us. You can use the flower of life or the spiral to, it's like using a focus to kind of open to the holographic power of life, to those codes, to choosing wisely what you wish to experience, and realizing that the whole of the universe is just these patterns that are reorganizing themselves in accordance with our consciousness. That's the power that you have. So bringing in that awareness over this portal of newness. What am I using my consciousness to manifest, and making that conscious? Your life will change and move to accommodate your intention. And there is a ritual at the end of this, which we may look at. So for some of us, this focus on how we manifest, it's really a skill within us that is either growing or wants to grow. So we may be feeling the urge to focus more on this, or we may be noticing where we've created things that we don't like. So there may be a focus on it in some way or the other. And I feel like the Lady Isis here is really bringing forward that very deep reminder that we are the creatrix of the whole situation. We direct it. So she wants us to make that conscious and to know the power that we have to do that. The Oracle of the Flower of Life also brings guidance that you are in the midst of a changing pattern, and although it might be uncomfortable at first, it holds the seeds of what you desire. And to allow it to happen is wise and loving to the self. Be brave, beloved initiate. The flower of life is nurturing you into a more whole expression of your divine self. Yes, there will be moments of questioning or doubt, but they are such a small part of the beauty unfolding for you now. Enjoy the flowering of your soul light into form on this planet in all its diverse beauty. And I feel like there's, one area of strength, essence, and expression that takes form through Mary Magdalene, another expression of Isis, of the Great Mother, or, everything and all. But Mary Magdalene's energy is very much about bringing the divine into the human. It's very much about honoring the human life and the human vessel and being very grounded in the human purpose. And I had a very beautiful message from her once that she also experienced huge tidal waves of doubt. She also questioned and wondered. And if you really look at the human stories of Yeshua, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, all these figures, these archetypes, but the ascended masters who walk the earth, when we actually look at their human lives, had very, very challenging and difficult lives, okay? And all of the messages for me, when it involves Isis and Mary Magdalene in particular, is a very strong emphasis on being good, comfortable, and not only that, but really honoring, loving, being present with your human body and your human experience. And if we doubt, recognize that, what it means, but know your true strength up and over that. So allow yourself the experience, allow yourself to, to feel fear, but don't become it, because that's not who you truly are. But don't bypass any of it either. Stay true to you. Okay, so that's the medicine that wishes to come through these cards, through this oracle and this short reading, to support, or maybe to communicate what is most helpful for us at this time, where it's most helpful to align our energy, right? To bring our focus, to focus on at this time, and really allowing all other considerations to fall away. There's a lot that's very relevant at the moment on how we can allow ourselves to just be present with me. Can I just, for today, focus on what's right for me, consider myself in every thought, in every moment? The world's not going to fall away if we stop tearing around, thinking speaking and doing for others all the time. And a lot of that is a pattern, a huge pattern for women that women have got into, that have been, you know, it's kind of overlaid as part of our existence, that we somehow have to think about or worry about or do for or fix others all the time. It's really the number one distortion and distraction, actually, from reclamation of feminine power, because it completely goes against the whole point that to be that magnetic creatrix, empress energy that really does magnetize everything that's in our highest and best. Actually, to do that, we need to come into a very deep space of honoring self. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, if that's enough for you, then we can leave it there, and thank you for receiving that. But I'm actually going to just share this short ritual of the flower of life, if anyone feels called to deepen the practice. And it just has a little incantation with it, which you can, I'll say that first, and then you may want to receive that. You could say that before or after any visualization, affirmation, or as a closing to any ritual, this one or any other. But really to boost your creative manifestation and causing it to come into concrete form in the physical world more rapidly. So if that resonates to receive, just drop into your body, into your breath. Flower of life, circles repeating. Manifestation now increasing. Creativity flowing fast. With power of the universe vast. The whole within a grain of sand. Manifestation forms from this hand. With unconditional love so wise. Uniting power of earth and skies. Flower of life, circles increasing. The energy grows through this speaking. So take a moment to drop into your heart space. Close down the physical eyes if you wish to experience this short ritual of the flower of life. Just relax your breathing, become aware of your body, and just have a nice deep sense of dropping deeper into the body, breathing from the belly up to the chest, feeling the rise and fall of the body along with the breath. And just give yourself permission, allow yourself to cultivate the feeling, the image, the sense or the perception of something you would really like to create, become or be right now. Breathe into the heart, and as you bring that awareness deeper, I want you to smile from your heart. Come from a place of joy and love. This is something that really makes your heart sing. And don't worry if it either seems too much or impossible or something even really simple. Don't think, analyze, or judge. Just feel with your heart and trust and hold with that. Sit with your vision or feeling. And then I want you to open your eyes and just stare into this image, this patterning. Shatura Nyata Tiasarakash Kiana. And just allow your gaze to go wherever it wants to. And bring that feeling into your heart, that sense, that ripple of joy. And just stay with that sensation, your imagination, however that looks, feels. And smile into your heart, allowing the gaze to take in the pattern. And then take a nice deep breath in, closing down the physical eyes again, focusing the attention on that beautiful sensation, image, internally. Really absorb that within yourselves, within your body. Take your time there, enjoying the fact you're seeding your vision or feeling, and relax into it as much as possible. And when you are ready with your heart connected to your vision and the awareness of the flower of life pattern, just say, of my own free will, with divine harmony and grace, so be it. Now on your next deep breath, just bringing the awareness back to this moment. Just smile in the knowing that every time we choose to expand into that newness and the limitless possibilities beyond the mind, we are anchoring in that new frequency as a felt experience. So that's the message for today. The Lady Isis, with a very gentle communication and reminder to really focus within and give full permission to just align that beautiful loving intention with what you truly deserve and desire. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you so much. Take care of yourselves. Until next time.